Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Volvo Christian, and finally I can say welcome to the Emily GT. It's hard to believe that I can say this. Maybe I have to pinch my arm. This is one of these squeeze my arm moments, because right in front of me I have a performance GT luxury sedan made in Sweden. 100% electric. I'm actually attending the eCarExpo here in the home of Volvo, Gothenburg. This is the last day and I saved the best for last. Nev's Emily GT. And if you don't know what Nev's Emily GT means, then yesterday I posted a video on my YouTube channel with the history and story about Saab. What happened to Saab and why they went bankrupt in 2011 and how this links up to this. The Emily GT by Nev's. So check out that video if you haven't already seen it. Either way, here's the actual car. Oh, I can't believe I'm standing in front of the Emily GT. It's only like since April this year that I've gotten to know the Emily GT and started looking into this car. And I was super intrigued of the exterior design. Just look at this low slung, so much character. And you can also see some Saab vibes going on. But the design, that was one thing that caught my attention. And it still grabbed my attention. It's like goose hairs attention. And then I got to further research and get to know the car with the in-wheel motors, the technology behind that one, the battery layout, the massive range, the amazing interior. This ticks so many boxes for me. And the cherry on top is made in Sweden. This is actually made at the old Saab factory in Trollhättan by Saab engineers. Check the video yesterday for more history on that. But finally, here we have it, the Nev's Emily GT. And why do I say Nev's? Nev's was the company that made this. But you see now, it's duct tape over all the Nev's logos. Nev's is National Electric Vehicle Sweden. And you find out more in yesterday's video. But now every one of these logos are covered up with duct tape. But we still have the Emily GT, and I will explain afterwards why they are all covered up. But either way, I can overlay a little video clip where I walk around the car. So you can feast your eyes on this, and also some interior clips.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive.
And then for some more technical insights regarding this car. We're going to start with the dry weight. This weighs in at about 2,100 kilos, so fairly light for such for electric cars these days. The battery are placed in the floor, and they have 3 different battery options in this car. They have one on 105 kilowatt hours, one on 120 about, or 140, and then the biggest one on 175 kilowatt hours. 175 is possible to put so much battery, primarily in the floor, but also between the axles. You can have an extra battery both in front and in the rear. So 175 kilowatt hours battery. That gives it a massive range and up to 1,000 kilometers. 1,000. The power figures are spanning from 460 horsepower and up to 653 horsepower, give or take. And in the performance version, they can have a massive 8,800 Newton meters of torque. It's just massively impressive. But then we're going to come to the more interesting elements. Because, and here we find the really juicy elements, because NEV's Emily GT doesn't have a traditional motor setup in the front or in the rear. NEVs actually have a motor in each wheel hub. And this system are developed by a company called Proton. I will write the name under for the correct pronunciation. And this is really interesting, and I can't even understand how this is technically possible, but it's an in-wheel motor, so you got everything you need in here. And there goes electrical cables, and you have braking, and you have the electric motor. Everything is in this hub. Really, really interesting solution. And on this car, I think you said it was like 90 kilowatts in each motor configuration. Yeah, 90 on each corner. And they have everything here, the brakes and all the cooling and everything. And right now, this is a 400 volt architecture, but they're working on another version that's going to be up to 800 volt architecture. And the charging are pretty rapid as well. Right now it's about, I think the goal is about 300 kilowatt or 350, but on the other version with 800 volt they can go up to 400 and up to 500 kilowatt of peak power. So you get massive range, and then you probably won't need to fill it up with so much battery as 175 kilowatt hours. I think the ideal, I talked to a guy here yesterday, I think the ideal battery size are about 140 kilowatt hours, and that will give you a range of about 700 kilometers. But I find this really, really interesting, and I thought this could be a problem, but they have done massive testing in all conditions, really hard and extreme testing on this in-wheel motor setup. And this, yeah, I'm just so amazed. But technically, I can't understand and wrap my head around everything. But yeah, super interesting with the in-wheel motors. And actually the battery are also quite interesting because they have these foot garages. So there's different levels. So the battery may be so high here, but in the cabin it could be lower, so you get more interior space. So that's really clever. I find this, I'm just so intrigued by this car, and it's made in Sweden. Could it get any better than that? We are on the tire size. This is actually 255, 35, 22s. I saw them, I think they had a smaller wheel as well. But yeah, I find this really interesting. What do you think about the exterior design? It is NEV's Emily GT. Well, I'm not going to say NEV's anymore, because now it's just Emily GT. I'm super amazed. And if you're wondering about the practicality and such, we actually have a pretty massive trunk. It's about 540 liters. And we also have a trunk and front. We have a front at about 150 liters and a trunk on 540. So in practicality, there's a bunch. And another cool thing to finish off the video about the actual car. The guys at NEV's, or the guys and girls, the team at NEV's, they have a computer made, or like in software program, they have actually made 4 different body styles to the Emily GT. We have this low slung GT, but then they have actually made one with a shorter wheelbase, maybe more agile, like a 2-seater version, and also a coupe version of that. And the even better thing, they have made a convertible version. Not actual car, but they have like the sketches and the program to make a convertible. How cool would that be with a Swedish convertible made at the Saab factory? All electric with power figures up to 500, 600 horsepower. I would definitely sign up for a Swedish made convertible, all electric by I don't know, Emily GT. Oh, what do you think? I'm gonna let you look at this for a little moment.
I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way, I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way, my way, my way.
So, some final words. First off, a huge thanks to the team here at Nevs. It is actually the team at Nevs that run this stand. As you see, it's pretty low budget, nothing fancy. I asked the guys, why didn't this have a halo spot? This should be welcoming us at the door. I love the A6, all around the A6 Avant concept. But this is the star of the show. Why is it here? But Nevs, as you saw in my last video, Nevs are in financial troubles, so that's why they have a low-key stand. But this is the star of the show. So huge thanks to the team at Nevs to let me walk around here. The expo are actually opening in, it's actually just opened. But they gave me access to the car, so huge thanks to them. But then some final words on what happened yesterday. Because all these Nevs logos are covered up, as I mentioned earlier. They have put a duct tape over all the Nevs logo. And why have they done that? Well, Nevs, as we know it, they had huge troubles early 23. They had to fire the whole staff. Everyone that wasn't necessary got fired, and the contract got terminated. And then they wanted to sell the Emily GT project. And then at this car expo, this was Friday to Sunday. But on Thursday, mid-Thursday, then I got an email from a press contact at the eCarExpo saying that Nevs were going to have a press release at 12 o'clock at this expo. They had huge news. And the news was that the Emily GT project are now sold. It is sold and this is going into production at the Trollhättan factory. But who bought it? It's actually a Canadian company, a tech company called EV Electra. It is owned by a guy from Lebanon. It's called Jihad Mohammed, if my memory serves me right. And he's a multi-millionaire, billionaire from a tech company. But the company are Canadian, EV Electra, and they're going to start a Swedish company with the same name, EV Electra. So this will be called EV Electra Emily. Maybe also Emily GT. So EV Electra are the new name. And I haven't heard about EV Electra at all. So at Friday, I started to Google because I was worried, who is EV Electra? And knowing the Saab history, you start to think. So I started to Google, and my concern didn't get smaller, in all honesty. It even increased. Because EV, what do you Google? You Google like Facebook shit and Instagram accounts, and it doesn't appear to be, it's not a car company, so they probably don't have so much experience, but they had one car because they had a factory in Turkey or something. They made a car, but the guy's got a shitload of money and he's willing to pour it out into the Emily GT. If I had a shitload of money, I would totally do the same. You invest, and he sees potential. So I'm really crossing my fingers that this project are going through and that this goes in production at Trollhättan. I'm really crossing my fingers, but I'm concerned knowing the Saab history. But the guy seems really, really awesome, and the team at Nevs were super thrilled. And Nevs actually had to sold part of their factory. They had like 80% of the factory area was sold to the municipality of Trollhättan, and the new owner, EV Electra, had an agreement that they want to buy this parts back to get full capacity at the factory and also hire previous Saab or Saab factory employers back. That's super news. Great news for the Saab employers, previous Saab employees. Great news for the Nevs employees. Great news for the factory. Great news for the whole city of Trollhättan and for Sweden. We get a car made in Sweden. How cool is that? So, fingers crossed for the new owner, EV Electro, and this guy Jihad and all the teams at Nevs. I'm super thrilled. I'm praising the Emily GT. I'm madly and deeply in love with the Emily GT. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and drop a comment what you think. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye bye.
I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.